Nah, normally I wouldn't put the intro at the beginning of a quick tag, but since the good doctor is in both of these shows, it only makes sense, right? 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 Well, of course, it's your boy Scoot Sidell telling y'all to open up your third eye and listen to me talk about AEW's weekend, starting off with Rampage. All right, open up Rampage. Jake Atlas, Adam Cole. Cole called out Atlas, talking about, hey, you. I heard you the shiny new toy. Let's come see about it, fam. Interesting enough, during the match, they said it without saying it that these two had a history in NXT. I'm going to bring this up to the fellas for our weekly discussion, but do you think it's about time for us to start discussing other companies that WWE can freely mention TNA or sorry Impact? They can mention Ring of Honor, they can mention New Japan, they can mention AEW because these companies all have history. And like take Cole. I understand Cole's New Japan, Cole was Ring of Honor, but the last 4 years of his life was in the WWE system. But yeah, they said it without saying it. And then if you heard it on AEW, I think it's AEW Plus, where even during the commercial breaks, you don't see the commercial breaks, but you still hear the commentary. Jericho mentioned that Cole is like a young Shawn Michaels. But when he said the comment again, when the broadcast was back, he said, yeah, I said earlier that he reminds me of a young wrestler back in Texas. So, but Cole gets the W. I don't know if Jake Atlas hurt his knee for real because he was really selling it. Whatever happened with his knee situation, he really sold it, which prompted Cole to hit a knee bar, and basically Atlas tapped. And when Red Dragon came out, O'Reilly and Fish, they were going to jump on Atlas together. And then Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, and Chuck came out. The faction disbanded. And that's basically was it with that one. Andrade spoke. He kind of had the whole same thing that he had with Death Triangle when he was trying to quote unquote buy the Lucha Bros from Pac. He's doing that now with Sting and Darby. He's basically asking Sting for how much it costs for me to get Darby up off you, big dog. Basically, what happened. Then we get Hook, aka Sin Hook, versus Aaron Solo. Once again, if you've been watching the previous Hook matches, Hook goes in, fucks some shit up, leaves. Once again, pretty solid match. I mean, he does what he does. After the match, I mean, he tapped out Aaron Solo. After the match, QT tried to get in Hook's face. Eventually, Hook got tired of QT, ended up capturing Hook T with the arm triangle suplex. I forgot what they called it. But when he hooks the arm like that and then boom. And then of course, Hook deuces. I think it was either before this match or after this match, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyway. They were mentioning Battle of the Belts, and then Ricky Stark says, well, the FTW championship is gonna be defended on Battle of the Belts. I'm challenging Matt Sydal because this is all because of Dante Martin. Dante, it took you X amount of times to beat Matt Sydal. Well, I'm gonna beat him in one night and blah 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 blah. You can just see it all tomorrow night. Then we get Ruby Soho and Riho versus Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker. D tag team match. This of course is like to kind of build up the whole battle of the belts between Riho and Dr. Baker the next night. Didn't mean to say that, but it happened. Baker and Soho go over, and then from that because they Soho, sorry, not Soho, Riho pinned Hater, and then it started to seem like there's dissension between Hater and Baker. We'll see. Then with the main event, Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz versus Daniel Garcia 2.0 and 2.0 in a street fight. When Mark Henry does his little interview thing, Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz just walked away, found 2.0 and Garcia, and they just started doing it there. They just started brawling. Typical street fight. They broke off into a respected man, hitting each other with all type of plunder around the ring, spots here and there. Eventually led to Santana and Ortiz hitting that nice ass flurry combo move they do. They get the 1-2-3, but then Garcia in 2.0 gets the upper hand, which prompts Jericho to leave commentary and chase away the bad guys. Personally, I don't know where this is going to go because, especially with Jericho keeps trying to. So I don't know if it's going to lead to Jericho finally fighting these dudes. I don't know if it's going to eventually lead to Jericho versus Kingston, but we're here. I think it was either that Battle of the Belts or Rampage, but if I don't remember, sorry, but I'm going to mention it now. There was a promo between the Men of the Year and Dan Lambert. I think that was on Battle of the Belts, so I'm going to talk about that right about now. So AEW had Battle of the Belts where originally the fellas, myself, Dizzle, and Jaeger, we thought this was like a special where they were going to do some type of Night of Champions type situation where like every championship was going to be defended. But in the end, it ended up just being the TNT, the Women's Top Championship, and the FTW Championship. Before the match, if I remember correctly, or it was, whatever, they announced that Cody didn't clear protocols, so he can't wrestle. So instead of scrapping the match, they doing an interim TNT Championship, and they did Dustin. So we got Dustin versus Guevara. There was a promo between Man of the Year, and they were like, "Hey, yo, fam, my man Scorpio here hasn't been pinned in like 300 days. He hasn't taken an L in like 200 something days. Why is he not in the interim match? You know, what's going on in his company? You know, little things like that. Wasn't a bad match because this is because they also spun this with the history between Rose and Guevara that this ended up being a rubber match. So pretty cool little history they ended up accidentally stumbling into. Guevara gets the pin by roll up. I kind of wish it would have been a victory rather than a roll up victory because then it would have just kind of put that true icing on the cake that, you know, Sammy deserves to be TNT champion rather than a roll up. I wish they would have just really just let him hit his finisher, the GTH or the 630, whatever which one. So that way he could have won it instead of a roll up victory. After that, Daniel Garcia storms the ring, gets in Guevara's face. They have a little scrap. It was an interview. Guevara was like, "Hey, yo, say fam, you want to get in my face and everything. How about Wednesday we do this for the TNT title or championship?" So Wednesday we will get Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia for the TNT championship or the interim TNT championship. But in all aspects, they could have just waited till Cody was healthy and just ran it back instead of I'm champ, no, I'm champ. Now we gotta unify the TNT championships, but excuse me, sorry, happy accidents. Next up, Matt Sydal, Ricky Starks, FTW Championship. Um, Once again, solid match. It was one of those you know who was gonna win. Starks kept the belt. After that, they was jumping on Sydal. They were jumping on Sydal. Let me Hobbs and Starks, because Hobbs accompanied Starks to the ring. They were jumping on Sydal, and I forgot who ran out there first. Somebody ran out there first. They got beat up, and then Dante came out. And Dante, because Dante is going to fight Powerhouse Hobbs on Dynamite. They did the little thing with Dante kind of hit Hobbs. Hobbs kind of stumbles out the ring. Starks was like, no, 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 don't go back in there. We good, we good, we good. But yeah, it was, you know, typical heel face finish where Dante kind of has the upper hand, but we'll see come Dynamite what's going to happen with that. Yeah. Next up, the main event, we get Riho versus Dr. Baker once again. DMD for the AEW Women's Championship. She has Rebel. She has Rebel. She has Rebel. I keep calling her Rebel. She's Rebel. She has Rebel. She has Hater. There was a weird sequence where I guess Dr. Baker was taking off her jacket. She hands the belt to uh Rebel. Rebel kind of holds it up like, yeah, she's the champ. Then she hands the belt to Hater, and Hater just like drops the belt on the ground, like, I don't want that. So throughout the match, they were trying to sow the dissension between Baker and Hater. Um, it was, I don't want to say typical, but it was a match that, once again, the way it was looking, you knew Riho wasn't gonna win. Sorry. Um, but there was sequences where Hater was like trying to interfere, but her interference was causing more issues than helping. But eventually, Baker hit the curb stomp. She hit the lockjaw. She wins. Then Baker and Hater hugs it out. So I don't know if their little feud is over with. Something's going to happen in the future. I don't know. But it was kind of, it was little, if it wasn't for all the outside interference and it would have just truly stayed between Baker and Riho, it would have been a more solid match. But with all the interference, it was kind of making it weird because it was like, is something not going right? Like, what's happening here? So due to all the outside stuff, it did for me take away from the match because the match wasn't bad. It was pretty solid. Especially with the whole Riho being first champion, she wants to be champion again, and the whole added story of Dr. Baker never beaten Riho, so could she finally do it? Yes, she does. So that was both Rampage and Battle of the Belts. I mean, they were both 1 hour shows each, so it wasn't too much happening. You got 6 matches all together. Of course, promos and vignettes thrown in for a little extra seasoning there. But I myself, Scoot Sidell, telling you to open up your third eye, like this video, comment on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and join the fam. Join myself, Lip Dizzle, and Jaeger Bomb Bassett, because we just bring all the content. And it's fantastic. Wrap it all up. Bars. Both. But yeah, subscribe. Come join the family. Come check us out. Interact with us. All that good stuff. We here. We here. We wrestling fans. We like to talk about wrestling and wrestling related things. And like I said, join us before. We got cookies. I mean, if you want a cookie, we'll try to get you that cookie. Plain and simple. Rest in peace, Betty White. Rest in peace, Bob Saget. Rest in peace to all those we lost. Happy New Year. Let's try to get through the rest of January just smiling and being happy and enjoying life. Because at the end of the day, that's all we can do is try to enjoy life the best way we can. Too sweet to the Brodies. Bow. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Until next time, you always got to remember to tag out. Peace, everybody. Okay, it doesn't want to end. So, peace.